Okay, folks, today's sponsor of WTF is Audible. Please visit audiblepodcast.com/WTFpod for a free audiobook download. Do it.
Lock the gates!
Are we doing this? Really? Wait for it. Are we doing this? Wait for it. What the fuck? Pow! Are we doing this? And it's also, what the fuck? Are we doing this? Really? What's wrong with me? It's time for WTF. What the fuck?
With Marc Maron.
Okay, let's do this. How's everybody doing? How are you, what the fuckers? Or might I say, if I could, because I actually got an email referring to my greeting, somebody suggested, what the fucking ears? Kind of like it? Let me know what you think. I know you've gotten used to what the fuckers, but how about what's going on, what the fucking ears? I like that because then we could make hats for, like fucking ear hats. I guess I'm going on a Mouseketeer riff. I don't know what the hats would be, but what the fucking ears is kind of nice, and it doesn't have any sort of derogatory messaging to it, like what the fuckers. Fucker is not generally, well, you can use it as like, hey, fucker, what's up? I'm just putting that out there, and I'm sure some of you have noticed, hey, what show am I listening to? What the hell is that? Where's the other music? That is our new music, and I'm very happy with it. And I would like to thank John Montagna of Brooklyn for submitting it, along with all your other submissions, which we will be using some of them throughout the other shows. But John's got through to me. I just liked it. It was raw. I liked the acoustic sound. I liked the rhythm. Felt good. Hope it felt good to you. John Montagna, thank you very much. It's good to be here. It's good to be out in the garage. It's good to be talking to you people. Things have been going on, I guess. The ongoing problem with the Avatar movie. I've been getting a lot of flack, like, that's contempt prior to investigation. Go see it. Don't judge it just on the money. Then someone sent me several emails about, would you use this model in judging other things? And he presented this big logical thing. I don't have time to read right now, but basically he was acting as, whether he wants to or not, as an Avatar stooge, in the sense that he was coercing me into seeing the movie. And I may go do that. Okay? I may go see the movie. Only because I don't want to be guilty of contempt prior to investigation. Even though the reason I'm not going is on principle around the money spent. And it's a cultural indicator. I'll talk about it later. Maybe I'll talk about it Thursday. I don't want to go into it now. Thank you for all the feedback on that. Thank you for all the feedback about the porn episode. A lot of people were very moved by it. A lot of people resonated with some of the issues I was talking about around porn with my buddy, Almost Dr. Steve, who I will also come, have back on the show to sort of respond to some of those emails. So look forward to that, because he is a real guy. He's not a fake guy. He's a real therapist, and people were interested. I seem to be dealing with some issues that people wanted to talk about, so we will have him back. To answer one question to one listener who asked me what Dana D'Armond was wearing, she was dressed normally. She did not come in spiked heels, wearing Victoria's Secret or something higher end. She came dressed as a girl coming to sit down and talk. Yeah, T-shirt, jeans, that kind of thing. I know I talked to some of you, to all of you, any of you who were listening, about the size of my tweeter dick, my tweener, as somebody said on Twitter, and I'm okay with it. I'm starting to realize that a lot of the people that listen to this show may be grown-ups, may not Twitter, may not have time for it, may not want to deal with that. I understand. Thank you for those of you who got on board at Marc Maron, one word, at Twitter, or WTF Pod at Twitter. Because I do use it. I do put stuff out there. So if you want to get on board with that, you're welcome. But I felt a little small about it. Now I felt small about feeling small about being on Twitter. I am consumed with bullshit today, in the sense that Comedy Central now has me on their site, on their big comedy showdown thing. Now, I got to be honest with you. The whole comedy showdown thing is basically something I think they do every year. They put a bunch of half-hour specials up there, and they basically see, who votes for who, and it's a popularity contest, but it's also a big social networking event. Now, I sort of, got myself on there because I was kind of pissed off that I wasn't on there. Now, here's what embarrassed me about the whole thing. I'm a 46-year-old man. I'll be honest about that, but it seems to me that inside I am a fucking child, a teenager, that I have moments where I think, hey, I'm accepting my age. I'm accepting the fact that certain things aren't going to happen, that I don't need to compete on certain levels, that I can let some things go and enjoy my life. On another level, whatever year it is in a row, they didn't include me in this contest. I was furious. It's like, what do I got to do? I've done 2 half-hour specials with them. I know it's just a stupid popularity contest. I know it's just about generating more hits for them. I don't get anything out of it. There's no prize other than they run my Comedy Central Presents again. But I was just pissed off that I wasn't included at the party. So I wrote Comedy Central an email, and I said, why am I not included at the party? Who randomly chose these out of the hundreds of Comedy Central Presents that you've done? And I was embarrassed about it, because what is that part of me that still, feels left out, that still requires to, I need to be included? Why am I the outside guy? Who the fuck is deciding this? Why am I not included? Why can't I be part of the group? When does that shit go away? I felt bad because it's not even that I care that much. I mean, what difference does it make? Most of you people out there don't even get involved with this. And the younger people that I have listening to me are a very special type of younger person. You're the kind of person that I was when I was a teenager. Alienated, angry, a little smarter than the rest of them in terms of, like, you realize a lot of stuff is bullshit, and you find some solace in knowing that, hey, this old guy still seems to think like me. I don't know what that means for me, but I'm glad you're listening. But that aside, if you go to comedians.jokes.com/stand-up-showdown, you can vote for me. I'm not going to win. I don't have the reach out that some people do. I don't even want to win. I just wanted to be included. And quite honestly, I've got enough votes there to know that I've been included, but you could do that if you want. Another thing I want to start plugging, if I could, I need to plug it now. I'm doing a pilot for Comedy Central called WTF. It is not essentially this show. It is a different type of show. I have a co-host who you will hear from on this show shortly, named Chelsea Peretti, a very funny woman. It has several different segments. It's a different show than what I'm doing here, but it does have the same title. But we are taping a live pilot presentation Thursday, January 28th at 7:00 p.m. at the Comedy Central stage, and that's at the Hudson Theater here in Los Angeles at 6539 Santa Monica Boulevard. The only way I know that you can get reservations is if you call. So if you're available and in LA to come to this pilot, I'd love to have you. Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m. You call 323-960-5519 for reservations for WTF, the Comedy Central pilot presentation with Marc Maron and Chelsea Peretti. That's 323-960-5519. That's January 28th. It's a Thursday at 7 o'clock. If you can do that, do it. Come on down. Now we're going to sit down with my buddy Bill Burr. I'm sorry. I knew him when he was Billy. I'm going to have to talk to him about that. Bill Burr is hilarious, and he's one of these guys that has only gotten funnier, and I love watching him. He's one of the few comics that I watch and go, shit, I wish I had thought of that. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Billy, and we'll have to deal with that. But I hope you enjoy it as well. You guys, go to audiblepodcast.com/WTFpod. They sponsor this episode of What the Fuck, but also you can get stuff there that are from the guests that we've had on this show. Jerry Stahl's got a little bit of stuff there. Eugene Merman is there. David Cross, his book is available in an audiobook with him narrating. As I said, Sam Lipsyte. I think I'm going to go get David Foster Wallace. I just started reading David Foster Wallace, believe it or not, because somebody recommended his essays specifically about the porn. He did an essay on the AVN Awards, which my guest Dana DiArmond is nominated for, the big one. And I just started reading David Foster Wallace. I don't know why I had an aversion to him. It wasn't even an aversion based on anything other than the girth and weight of Infinite Jest. It was one of those books that, not unlike Pynchon's Gravity's Rainbow, just was this monolithic testament of modern literature, and it was like daunting, and I just never even tried it, and it alienated me to the point where I just didn't read his shit. But he's quite brilliant and also quite dead, sadly. But he's available at audible.com. I'm just saying that if you're into listening to podcasts, that there's plenty of options. If you go to audiblepodcast.com/WTF pod, you'll get a free audiobook download of your choice. It's worthwhile. If you like this format, you're going to dig that. So do that. Talking about taking up guitar. Well, the skateboarding thing is, if you don't, there's certain things if you don't do.
Have you already begun this, by the way?
We're kind of easing into it.
That's actually a really interesting way to start a podcast, like mid-conversation, let people catch up.
Well, right, because then you see you're undermining the process, Bill.
Yeah.
Because what happens is like you forget that you're doing it, and then all of a sudden we're in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say you should just have the record button on, and just as you're walking in, you just see there's people getting closer, like,
he's coming in.
I don't know what the fucking deal is. So, anyways.
Come on
healthcare.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I actually had a mic planted in your car yesterday, so this is going to be a great episode. My guest in the garage here at the Cat Ranch in the barrio is Bill Burr, formerly Billy Burr.
Formerly, yeah. I've always, I was always Bill right up until I got into showbiz, and some people got in my head like, it doesn't flow together. You should go by William or whatever. So I kind of listened to him, and for probably 4 years I went by Billy, and every time somebody said it, like I cringed. Like I don't know how Billy Crystal does it. Like as a man, Billy, yeah.
If you didn't grow up with it, but someone talked you into that.
But I was Billy when I was a little kid. If you're a little kid is Billy. And anytime a comedian does a joke and there's a little kid that they're talking to, it's like, let me tell you something, Billy.
Yeah, it's always Billy. Yeah. Well, that's interesting because that goes back to what we were just talking about. Maybe when you were Billy, you would have taken up guitar or skateboarding without being self-conscious.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's what we're talking about.
I wasn't self-conscious till I got in an argument with my fucking neighbor down below me.
All right, this happened today.
No, this happened like 2-3 days ago.
About guitar playing?
No, it turned into that. It got ugly.
What happened?
All right, so I live in this old building. And it's there's no insulation in it whatsoever. Like I've been sitting on my couch late at night, and feeling like I'm the only person in the world, and all of a sudden you just hear like, you see somebody clear their throat, and they sound like they're on the couch with you, like the place is fucking haunted, and they're literally across the courtyard. I don't know if it's the acoustics. I don't know what it is. Yeah. So everything's fucking loud as hell in there. So we live above this old guy, the classic old guy you don't want to be, living alone, not even no pets.
Yeah.
Blinds pulled. You don't even know what the fuck he does.
Right.
And he's always he's really sarcastic.
Yeah.
It's like if you drop something, because there's gravity, you drop something, you just hear him muffled downstairs. You just hear, do it again. Oh no! Like that. He's doing that.
How can you live in a place that's got that thin a situation going?
It's fucking ridiculous. And keep it up.
Oh shit!
He does that. So I think it's funny. If he says do it again, I do it again. Comedian. I don't give a shit. But my girlfriend, maybe because it's a guy, she feels bullied by him. So 2 months ago, she tells me, you really need to go down there and talk to this guy. You need to talk to this guy.
Man up.
No, dude. Man up would be if it was me. We're the same age.
Yeah, right. How old is this guy?
Dude, I don't know,
100?
I was joking on my podcast that he tested for McHale's Navy. That's how old he is. He's an old guy, so it's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to go down there, and what is going to come of this? I don't want to do this shit. So yesterday, 2-3 days ago, it's the end of Christmas, I'm dragging my Christmas tree down. It's 10 in the fucking morning. Legally, I could start building a house at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a tree down, and he comes out, and then sarcastic is hell. To the point, I didn't even get it, but he just had this bizarre look on his face. He just goes, what did he say? He said, beautiful morning, isn't it? He yelled
Christ.
that, and I was looking at him like, what the fuck is this guy out of his mind?
Yeah.
And then I realized, he's being sarcastic.
Right.
He heard the tree coming down. So I'm like, whatever. And I go in the house, and my girl's like, he was yelling again. Go down there and talk to him. So I'm like, fine. You want me to talk to him? So I go down there. And I go down to talk to the guy, and as I start walking up his walk, he's sitting there, and I see this little kind of look of fear on his face. And I didn't go down there to have an argument. And I was just like, listen, man, you're always yelling up there. What is the problem? And I sound like she dropped a brick. And he just starts screaming at me. I go, look, we have hardwood floors. Look, I came down here to work it out. And he goes, what does that mean? What is that, some sort of hip new saying? I swear to God. So I kept my cool, and I kept going like, dude, I'm just coming down here to blah, 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 right? And he just kept yelling at me. Then at one point, he made a reference to my bad guitar playing. It's sarcastic as hell. He goes, how's your band? And then he goes, this little laugh, right?
No.
And, no, I mean, I swear to God,
Yeah.
if there is an afterlife, I want kudos on this because I immediately want to be like, how's your fucking life?
Yeah.
How's your fucking life? Really? Is this what you dream of?
You didn't do it?
Yeah, who's your last roommate? Fucking Larry Howard? You fucking asshole. No, because I have a line. I don't yell at old people. I don't.
Sorry. Well,
That's what he said. He goes, how's your guitar? And that's what fucking kills me, is it really hurt my feelings, because that was outside the realm of comedy, so I don't have musician walls built up.
Yeah, he hurt your feelings. He got in.
He got in.
Oh, he got in.
He got in. He fucking gave me an uppercut right to my feelings. And he always even worse, because then I came upstairs, and my girlfriend was standing on the balcony listening to all. She wants to go at it with the guy, and I just, I got lines.
But what happened, though?
So what happened was I found the worst thing I just said to him. I didn't even say you're a jerk. I just said, you know what, you're being a jerk right now. I came down here and you're just being a jerk. And I walked away and I left it at that. And, you know, of course, everybody listening to my podcast was like, dude, you know what I would have done? Yeah. I would have fucking got a paint gun. No, you wouldn't have. Yeah. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have. Or people tell me to stomp around my apartment. Oh, that's and play the TV real loud. Oh, great. So I actually piss off all the sane people in my building.
Well, you know, what's weird is that with those kind of situations, the fact is you could be as nice as fucking hell to the guy and he still won't change. And it's only going to be for you. You know, but sometimes if you're nice and you make gestures, sometimes they do have a level of an understanding. He's probably angry.
I think what I should have done was I should have made a gesture a while ago, and I didn't. And now the first time we've ever really
talked. It's a confrontation.
It's a confront. So I think it's over. You know, it's at that horrific. Like if you get into an argument with a girl to that level on a first date, there's no second date.
No,
there's no. You can't bring the flowers.
Not unless they're sick. So with me, there's usually a third and a fourth date, and eventually a marriage. So I don't know how that works with you, but in my experience, if you get into a really good argument on the first date, you might marry her. I didn't have that experience, but back when I lived in Astoria.
Oh, because you consider it like this great intellectual back and forth?
Well, whatever it is, it's drama. And sometimes that feels like feelings. You know?
Yeah, drama, and then they're crazy, so the sex is great, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah. You've built an entire relationship that's completely draining and is completely emotionally disconnected.
Yeah, you just described my 30s and my late 20s.
I'm glad you got out of it. I'm still trying. But getting back on that, my experience with that was when I lived in Astoria, I had neighbors. All I knew was the guy was an EMT. He had a family over there. You know, he's a real dude, you know, Latino guy. Right. I only saw him once or twice, never met him. Here's how I met that guy. I used to get in fights with my ex-wife, you know, before we were married. And she was over there, and we were fighting, and it was bad, right?
Ignoring all red flags, just plowing ahead.
Oh, yeah, this is before I married, right. So all of a sudden, dude, I hear a knock on the door, like urgent. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I open the door. I'm standing at the door. My wife's in the hallway a little further down. It's my neighbor. Looks right past me, looks at her and goes, everything okay here?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He handled you like a wife beater.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Have you ever had that happen? Because that was like one of my bigger fears, that, you know, when you get into a sort of predicament and their honor is at stake, that you're not going to do the right thing.
I've had that a couple of times, but I've been able to talk myself out of it. Like I'm not like I'm one of those guys. Like I feel like I could have been a great fighter.
Yeah.
Like not like UFC, but like as far as hold your own, I could have been.
Right.
I just never went down that road. I just, you know, I had 4 brothers. We used to kick the shit out of each other every day, and the shit my older brother did to me, I kind of got psyched out when I went into public, because I was like, you know, my brother has to answer to my dad when he comes home. This fucking guy doesn't. I used to have a line in my act. I used to say, you know, when it really comes down to it, you know, 90% of people won't throw a punch. That's the funniest thing. That's, there's all this fucking, you know, posturing and
a lot of dancing.
Yeah. But that other 10% will bite your ear off. Yeah. And that's what you're worried about. And it really gets to the point where it's just like your brawling days are during those days when you can't get sued, which I don't think exist anymore, because at this point in 3rd grade, you can fuck up somebody else in the 3rd grade.
And you can go to adult prison.
And then, the parents end up getting sued.
Right.
Somehow they get sued.
Oh, yeah. With dogs, kids, everything.
I mean, like when I say I didn't have fights, I mean, I stopped around junior high because other kids started growing, and then all of a sudden I wasn't growing because I was one of the bigger kids.
Yeah.
Like I was supposed to be born June 10th, 1968, and I was. and I was a 10-pound baby, dude, and there was not one cute picture of me. I was a huge, I was like a fucking sandbag.
A little red-haired mass of flesh.
If you had 100,000 of me, you could have stopped that flood in New Orleans.
Just stacked up. Little Billy Burrs.
In jumpers. Yeah, my big Charlie Brown head, dude. And I had
Thank God to the army of Billy Burrs.
Yeah.
New Orleans has been saved.
And I had that big baby fat right up until like fucking like 6th grade. And then people started shooting up, and then I wasn't. And then it was like the kids I used to pick on and shit all of a sudden were bigger than me, and then I had to go with humor.
Yeah.
You know.
So you didn't have to pay the price for whatever you did in junior high or whatever the hell you did it. So what? So you got into a couple scrapes?
When I was growing up, I did. Yeah, like the classic suburban white kid. Street hockey games. Fought this fucking kid at another buddy of mine's birthday parties. And he was literally like a fucking foot taller than me. He was one of the biggest kids in the grade, and he played hockey. So he was like psycho competitive. This is my version, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was like, I barely looked at him, and he flipped out. And,
you
know, just the usual.
The scrambling. I had a moment that I'll never forget. Like I was driving, I don't remember, I must have been in college or something, or maybe in high school even. And I was driving down the street with another buddy in high school, and we saw some kids, like young kids, like, 3rd or 4th graders about to throw down. Something was going on.
That's great.
You know,
Did
there
you
was
put money on it?
There was one, like, really wiry kid that looked like the problem. Then there was a chubby kid. And we pulled up to see what was going on. No, because we wanted, my first thought was we should, we're adults.
If I had to guess, I would pick the wiry kid.
Well, here's what the horrible thing was about it is that, like, because I identify with the fat kid, I was a fat kid, and I was always funny and very diplomatic. So we stop, and my buddy who I was with was an asshole. He wanted the fight to happen. So we're there. It's not even good cop, bad cop. My buddy's going, like, are you going to kick his ass? And the little wiry
How
kid's
old
like,
are you?
We're in like high school, probably seniors in high school. And these kids must have been 4th grade, 3rd grade.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So like, and I'm like, dude, we shouldn't, don't fight. It's not a good idea. Don't fight. And the fat kid, like, he's nervous. I can tell he's nervous. And the little guy wants to hit him. And the fat kid looks at him. He's like, hey, you know what? I'll make you a deal. Johnny, he's going to kick my ass tomorrow. So why don't you guys both do it tomorrow? Instead of do it
oh my God.
So he was negotiating, and I'm like, he just bought himself another day, and I thought it was kind of genius. Because that's sort of something I would say. It's like, all right, I got another day to get out of this.
I'll be all numbed up from the first ass kick, and I won't even feel the second
He'll
one.
probably weasel his way out of the other fights. I mean, I wish I had gotten into at least, a few fights. I've always been like a verbally, I'll spar like that.
Dude, it isn't fucking. I mean, I got my ass kicked at.
I'm not asking anyone to kick my ass, by the way. Do not come to one of my shows.
You don't want to. That's why I stopped. I fought, and I would fight anybody right up to about 6th or 7th grade, and then I saw this one fight where it was, I never name names, okay, but these two kids are going to get off the bus. One kid is like that kid who's already lifting in 7th and 8th grade, and he has a body of a man.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when you're senior, somehow he's still 5'1". He's that guy, right? But in junior high, he's the Hulk. This kid was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And the other kid was sort of big, fat baby Huey looking dude, but he was a fucking psycho. So the, junior high Hulk is getting off first, and right as they get off the bus, the psycho pushed him from behind, jumped on him, got on his chest, and just fucking haymakers to the face, right?
Oh,
Rock
God
him, sock
damn
him.
it.
Like, it was like, everybody went like, it was like unbelievable, like, excitement and then just horror. It was like, wow! And you just fucking looked away, dude. And that kid didn't show up to school for a week. And when he came back, like, his face was still swollen and he didn't even look like himself. And I remember just thinking, like, you know what, dude? I'm not a fighter, man. I don't have that in me to take that or do that. Like, there's like a fucking, the same like a mentality to become a comedian. Yeah. And you got to make peace with yourself as a man that, dude, you're not the action hero guy. You're just fucking not. And, what's going to happen?
But, like, have you been in situations, though, where, like, when we started this conversation about where you're with your wife, or, your girlfriend, and something happens, and you got to step up. And Pryor used to do a great joke about that, about the whole sort of like run. If like come on, you start running behind me. I don't remember what the joke was, but I remember it was ballsy of him to do it because I watch that special every once in a while, the first one, and just the idea that he undercuts that whole idea of like you're going to have to step up and defend your girl's honor. He's you ready to run?
It's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, but how are you going to walk away from that?
Because this is the thing. I understand why women want you to do that.
Yeah,
but they got to understand why you shouldn't. And there's a classic fucking story. I remember one time they picked this guy up who fucking killed 2 old people in Massachusetts. They picked him up Midtown Manhattan. You know what he was doing? He was handing out those flyers to take the double-decker bus tour.
Right, yeah, sure.
Around Manhattan.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, that's the kind of guy you get into an argument with.
Right.
Dude, I don't want to take the fucking bus tour. And then you're going to throw down with this. This guy is wanted for 2 murders. You don't fucking know that.
That's right.
You don't know it.
Yeah.
So... There's all of that shit. Like, I totally made peace with that. I'm just like, dude, I'm not a brawler. I would get raped in prison. Oh, yeah, I'd get my fucking ass kicked by any... I would really, like... Unless it was a brother kind of fight. Like, if they fought the way my brothers fought, I could do the dual headlock thing,
right.
You know, that
well,
fucking
usually
dance.
those fights ended when someone cried, right?
Yeah, no, it
was all based on who cries. Like when my brother, once they were crying, it was done.
I had one time. I had a fight with my brother, and it was when we were getting too big to fight, and my dad came in to break it up. And as he broke it up, like a fucking NHL ref, and I was like a goon, I gave him one over the shoulder, caught him right in the face.
Your brother?
And it was like some movie studio should have recorded the sound, because it was the classic punch in the face,
Pow!
Just that pop, that fucking
pop,
flesh sound. And I remember thinking, like, wow, it really does sound like that, because we usually didn't hit in the face, and I fucking got him with a good one. And I swear to God, dude, 12 years after that, we would be out drinking.
Yeah.
And there would be a moment in his drunkenness where I would feel him sizing me up. And I'd be sitting there going like, there's no fucking way he's still mad at this. There's no way. So one night I'm drinking with another one of my brothers, and he starts bringing up, you know, how I used to fight. My older brother got mad because I finally beat him at some point. He's like, dude, you fought like you didn't even fucking know me. I was like, dude, fuck, you used to fucking throw me down the stairs. What are you talking about? There's no rug there either, you know? So then somehow I brought my younger brother, and it's like, you know, I just kind of threw it out there to test. They go, he thinks I don't know, but I know. I know he's testing me. And I just waited. My brother's like, oh yeah. He talks about every time he gets drunk.
No, he does
not. He did.
So you still got to answer for that.
No, it's over now.
You sure?
It's over. I think, dude, I'm 42. But the thing about it is I kept myself in good shape. So if he kicked my ass, he wouldn't feel sorry for me. My problem is I didn't let my body go, so I couldn't have that sad middle-aged.
Right.
Come on, man.
But it's so funny that, like, you know, like I just picture that moment where you just catch one. He catches you off guard. He pops. He goes, we're even. Like, even if it happened next week.
If he did, I think I'd be all right. Depends on how good he got me and who was around.
Well, I'm just happy, you know, you're in good shape. But there was that period there where you were fucking nuts.
Where I was what?
You were a little nuts, I think. You were pretty emaciated, and you were like, I can do 900 pull-ups. Do you remember that?
Was I emaciated?
You got pretty thin, man. But I mean, you were fit. But do you remember that? I mean, what was going on?
How long ago was it?
I was before you left New York. I just remember there was a time where you were like, you know,
oh yeah, and I didn't even know. Everybody's telling me, you look great. What I was trying to do was get back down. It was funny. I was trying to get back down to the weight when I had abs. But the thing is once you lose your abs, if you just try to get down to that weight, you actually lose like the muscle. Like I wasn't doing it right.
Well, you get gaunt when you get older. You know, you like fucking Fitzsimmons made fun of me about that. You know, because I'm leaner than I think I've ever been really. And I was, you know, and I was going to the gym a lot. He goes, you look like one of those guys who's like 45 years old, but just runs. You got that gaunt, weird face of someone who exercises too much.
Greg always bringing the positivity.
Yeah, that guy fucking like. I go in there and I just want to talk to him. I feel like we're on the same side. We think the same way. And all of a sudden I'm like, why am I he just pounded me.
Yeah.
Did he do that to you?
You don't take it personal. I love Greg. I love Greg. You got to know that Greg begins the conversation by sticking a mitt in your face.
Right, but it's like...
It's like Larry Holmes. He comes in like Larry Holmes, big 15-ounce right in your face.
But you think that you have the same opinion and he's arguing with you. It's the weirdest thing. Like, he was arguing with me about, you know, and we agreed. So you went to the dentist and your teeth are all right?
Yeah, they're fine.
I'm worried about my teeth.
Well, my dad is a dentist, so I kind of know the racket. I know we got to take full fucking x-rays. No, you don't.
How your gums?
They're fine.
Your gums good?
They're a little. I brush a little too hard, so they're trying. They actually talked me into buying this fucking electronic toothbrush. It was $100.
Sonicare?
Yeah, it sucks.
You have a Sonicare?
I don't know what it was, but all I know
is
it just stopped. It stopped working after a while if I didn't apply any pressure. And then like, well, why don't you try this one? It's like, do you understand that you sold me $100 toothbrush and it doesn't work? Why don't I just go back to the old one? And it's like, if I brushed too hard and I brushed away a little bit of my gum, I don't brush on the gum. So whatever's was there is gone, and it's not going to go any further back. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. My gums are fucked up. They've always been fucked up because I think I brushed the fuck out of them when I was a kid, and then now, like, because my bite's weird, you put too much pressure on one side, and then they recede even more.
I would say definitely get a cleaning. Definitely stay on top of it. Brush and floss your teeth. But I will tell you this: watch out with them trying to sell you on. It's like.
What about water picks? Are they good?
Dude, fuck all. That's all.
I have a water pick. I thought it's supposed to be good. Now I don't know.
Maybe it is. I don't fucking know. I never use. I just, dude. If you brush your teeth,
you're the son of a dentist. You have a license to be a practitioner.
I don't.
Would your father say a water pick is good?
I don't know. Look, all I can tell you is, you brush your teeth and you floss them, then it comes down to genetics. You should pretty much be okay. And I got to tell you, with some of this shit I'm looking on the internet, the stuff that they're able to do now is fucking incredible.
So I don't even need my teeth.
I had a buddy of mine. No. Oh yeah,
just get new teeth.
Well, the way it's going with these bankers, you're gonna be.
Oh shit! I knew it was gonna come to that.
You're gonna be chewing their food for them. No, a buddy of mine, 41 years old. I'm riding around. He's got this handicap, thing hanging from the mirror, and he's looking for handicap parking, going to a basketball game. I'm like, what the fuck's he got this for? But he got hip replacement surgery at 41.
Why?
I guess he
because he could.
Hereditary. And then he had a really good time when he was younger, which evidently dries out the cartilage and shit. So
that's a really good time.
But he needed it like 7 years ago, and the guy actually told him to wait. He goes, just wait. The way they're developing stuff, just wait, because the ones we have now are only good for this amount, and you can only get 2 of them. So you'll basically be in a wheelchair by the time you're in your 60s. By the time he did it now, he was up and walking around like within a month.
My dad's he was a practicing surgeon. Yeah. Now he's sort of a GP, but he does that shit. He does hip replacement. I remember one time, I don't know if it's the same with a dentist, but my old man, I'm a kid. He's like, you want to come down to the hospital with me? I got to look at a film about how to do this new operation. I'm like, that sounds great. And I had no idea what the fuck he did. Right. And we sit in this movie, dude. They take a guy, they cut him open at the hip. There's saws, hammers,
they actually,
nails, and I'm like, holy fuck!
They actually didn't they actually saw off the top of the femur back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm like, what are they going to do with that stuff? How are they going to put that fucking guy back together? Because it gave me this whole new,
What did they do back in the day? They took like a third of the pelvis off and then part of the femur, and then they just stuck this plastic thing in there?
Even if it was a replacement, I think that you got to, my fear was, when you get a new thing in a box and it's got instructions, and if you fuck it up, it's fucked up.
Right.
You got to return it or whatever. You can't get the piece on. You missed a piece. You broke a piece.
Right.
This guy's, they're cutting off pieces of people's bone, throwing them away, and that's it.
That's it. That's why you have to watch out these fucking dentists, man. Dentists are just like comedians.
Oh yeah, how so?
In that, you go down to a comedy club, you watch 10 comics, 2 of them are really good, another 7 are trying to be those 2, and then there's this one like, dude, whoever fucking told you that you should be in this business? And I swear to God, straight across the board, I don't give a salesman, dentist, anything. I worked with dentists who were fucking great, and then I met other dentists who had car payments and teeth got filled.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta understand, you take an oath. When you do, like...
Is there a teeth oath?
There's... No, it's like, I know it seems ridiculous.
The Hippocratic oath?
Talking about dentists, but you're taking away a part of somebody's body that doesn't need to be taken away. And if you fill a tooth that doesn't need to be filled, now you've cut into the natural structure, and you've gotten closer to the nerve. Now, if this person doesn't brush their teeth well, you could create this guy to have a root canal, or if he doesn't even deal with that, it has to have an extraction. And there's all this shit that happens when you have a tooth come out. The reason why you got to have another one put in there is because the teeth on either side of it will come closer together, and the one underneath it will erupt up to fill the space naturally.
Oh, it daps.
From back in the caveman days. So when it erupts up, there's tooth structure that should be under the gum that now isn't.
Holy shit.
That doesn't, I think, have the protective enamel. I don't really know. I just handed him the shit. But this is the stuff that I kind of learned as I was standing there. And it's a fucking nightmare, dude. And then you don't chew your food well. It goes into your stomach, and then you don't digest it well. You got fucking problems with your colon. It's all connected, dude, just like that song those people used to sing.
Yeah, well, you have a brain that connects everything. I'm starting to realize that now.
And it's based in all overheard conversations.
Yeah, but like even the conversation, what you're saying about teeth is just scary. Like I read an article, like I think dentists have a very high depression rate. I believe that they have
suicide rate,
just like
comedians, because they're not respected, just like comedians.
No, you know what it is? Actually, I read a John Updike book. I think it was called Couples, and there's
Oh,
the
because
character.
he knows.
No, but
Who the
wait a
fuck
minute.
is this guy?
Just
He wrote.
wait a
Are you
minute.
going to tell me an author knows why?
Writers know things. Let me just explain what I'm saying. I think
That was actually a great point you just made.
before you argue with me.
Just brought him up like he worked in a sewer. John Updike. What the fuck does this guy know?
No, but what I'm saying is that what he said was there is no other profession that has to deal that intimately with decay on a day-to-day basis, with the reality that we decay.
No, you know what it is? He romanced it.
Okay, so
He
he's a
romanced
writer.
it. Yeah, exactly.
But what rots more than teeth? Every day you just know that we're rotting and that there's no fucking way.
That's unbelievably artistic and poetic. No, it's the fact. It's you alligator armed becoming a neurosurgeon.
Oh, okay. So
You got halfway through medical school and you're like, you know what, fuck this. It's like that comedian who never has the balls to leave where he started.
Yeah.
Because he's got a good job and blah 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 blah. I think that there's a lot of people like that. My dad is not like that. My dad fucking loves it. And if I could be as good a comedian as he is a dentist, he's fucking unbelievable.
Well, you're a great comedian, and you're one of the guys that you're talking about. You're a warrior, dude.
Oh, you should see my dad fill a tooth.
No, dude. You were a phoenix that rose from the ashes. I mean, you know, that's one thing that I remember, and I think we've had this conversation before in some other version, but like back in the day, that I don't even remember when the hell it was that you got that first deal. You had, you know, your hair was bright red, you were young, you were a comer.
You know how much that would have hurt me if I knew you thought that, but you were one of my heroes, man.
No,
I saw you have a set that I still remember at the fucking New York Comedy Club, which is the most depressing place ever, especially after you just ate your balls at the Boston Comedy Club and you're like, wow, that was my shot. I'm never getting in here.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I was watching these horrible comedians. And it was the first time I was out of the Boston area and everything was new and weird. And I was like almost homesick. And I was like, oh my God, this is fucking horrific. And you went up there, dude, and the place didn't stink anymore. You went up and you fucking destroyed, and it was like you were just talking. And I remember sitting there going, I want to be able to. How do you do that?
Well, now you do it.
How do you do that?
That's what I was going to say to you.
Well,
is
there
that
you
when
go.
I met you, whatever my judgment was, maybe it was when you just moved there and you were just trying to, you know, get your toe in. But it was like something happened between then, like you disappeared. Like I don't know, you were in New York for a while, and did you go back to Boston?
No,
and then come back?
this is what happened. Is I was there for 8 months and I was barely getting into the clubs, and I auditioned for a part in a sitcom, and I ended up booking it. And then all of a sudden I was on TV, and then everybody was just like, what the this fucking guy did like 3 spots in New York.
All right.
And then everybody else was just like, oh, he's on his way. Nobody made it quicker. I didn't say any of that shit. I wanted to be in New York and learn how to do what the fuck you were doing. And all of a sudden I was on this sitcom, which was fucking great. But, there was another moment where, you know, I only jammed in my parents' basement. Then I'm with Victor Wooten. My acting was, I took like, you know, a couple years of acting. That's what I got. Yeah. And dude, I'll tell you right now, the rumors as to how I got that part.
I had no idea about any of it. All I just knew was
all the comics on my level, you couldn't believe the shit. That's when it was a big lesson that I learned, that no one could ever just say, oh, he went in and he auditioned, he did a good job and got a call back. And then I went the normal process.
He sucked a dick. He did this. He did that.
Yeah, it's all you didn't earn. It was just like, dude, I heard him. He was. They just saw him in a club, and he had red hair, and that the lead actress had red hair in the show. So it was just like, you know, and he's playing her brother. So they were just like, that's the guy. And it's just like, first of all, my character's not even related to that character. I had another person try, like, say, tell me that they work in the comic strip, and I was like, oh, you work in the strip, that's great, you got in. And he was like, yeah. I go, how'd you get in? He goes, same way you did. This sly look. I go, how do you think I got in? He goes, I heard you weren't passed and you just started signing up for late night. I was like, no, I didn't do that.
Well, all this aside, you know, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know any of the story. It was actually a compliment that I was fucking giving you before you hijacked it.
But it was a Marc Maron compliment. You walking around like you were the shit and you had everything going on. You got this deal. I didn't get a deal. I booked a part and it went like a third of a season and we got canceled.
All right. So we've set the record straight. But what I was going to say was, then I didn't see you for a while, and then you come back fucking guns blazing, honest as fuck, you're delivering the real shit, you're speaking from your heart, and it's fucking beautiful.
Got rid of the puppet.
Yeah, with the puppet, that was you. You were your own puppet.
You know, I had a lot to had a lot to learn.
But you kept fighting. I mean, that's the thing that's amazing is like, because, you see guys, I mean, the point I was trying to make is that, I had opportunities, but nothing ever went anywhere. And I'm, too fucking, heady to ever think that anything's going to, change everything. My cockiness is so transparent. It's fucking ridiculous. And as people get to know me, they realize like, oh, he's just a marshmallow. Right. But what I have seen is guys who get opportunities like that, and it just fucks their head up for good. But you went back to the fucking drawing board, and you put together an act, and you built the fucking thing, and now you're your own guy.
And it was a 3-year hangover, though, because I got to tell you, going from like fucking eating spaghetti 5 days a week, and then all of a sudden I had money for like
right
3 months.
Yeah,
it was like I went from like level 1 to level 100 and then slam back down to level 2, and it was like 3 years. Yeah, and then I was still living in L.A., and my headset, mindset got to the point of like, I have to be on a TV show or else I'm not successful. And it took me 3 years to figure out, wait a minute, what did I want? Oh, I moved to New York because I wanted to be a comedian. And then I moved back in like 99, and then and I just said, fuck it, I'm just going to try to get as funny as I can as a comic, and I'll I'm always holding on to that. Someone's going to see me do a special, and they'll be like, "Let's give this kid a movie."
Right.
That's what I'm holding out for.
Well, so basically, in now that we've had the conversation, I was absolutely right in my assessment of what was going on, and that my feelings about how you handled it and where you began and where you've come from.
I didn't think I was all set. And
that's the only thing.
And there was no, nor has there ever been cockiness. Like so many people, something what it really is a lot of times if you're a quiet person, like I was back then as opposed to now where I never shut the fuck up. People are they assume that I don't know what, like when you're quiet, they just think that you're thinking that they're an asshole. Yeah. And what I was really doing was questioning everything I did in the last 5 minutes on the way to the club.
Well, you hit it well.
Oh yeah.
Thank God you were a good-looking kid and you had a good jacket. Yeah. But now,
as opposed to the depressing decay that you look at now, to bring it back to the fucking John Updike.
I just love
stick to talking about what you know about.
That was where it came from. You actually dislodged something that like I had that idea stuck in my head about dentists. That's not something I just pulled out of my ass. I'm not that much of an intellectual, but I remember there was this whole paragraph in that book about decay and about this guy looking at it every day and about the existential implications of having to deal with it on that level every day.
What it really is you watch Top Gun. And you're like, I'm going to join the Air Force and I'm going to fly an F-16, and then you end up being the guy who puts the gas in it or has those orange sticks. That's what a lot of people view being a dentist as. It's not respected as being in the medical field. And one of the great things when I worked in the dental office was I saw how cool that job was, the ability to get people out of pain.
And also they're
incredible.
They're like jewelers. I mean, the type of work they do and the space they do it in, it's fucking
the great ones.
Yeah.
The great one, not the hacks, not the thieves.
No, the hacks aren't even using real gold.
Not the cruise ship dentists.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about those.
Let's just pull it. Not those guys.
How funny is that commercial? I was talking about that the other day, I think on stage or something like that. Have you seen that commercial that the $50 gold coin that they're selling for $19.95?
Oh, yeah.
And then looking at it like as an investment, it's like no one has the brains to realize that if you had something worth 50 and you sold it for 19, you'd be out of business.
That's right.
Within 2 weeks.
Well, God bless America, because people are filled with that lack of brains. Oh. And it speaks exactly to the thing
limit 5 per customer just to create that. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I got to get more. But this leads right into your fucking the ongoing conversation about the bankers.
Oh, it's just reprehend. Like I don't believe that there is 5 people running the world, but there are 5 fucking banks that are just getting away with murder.
That's absolutely right.
They don't even show up. Like they had a meeting with the president. They blew it off because it was foggy.
Yeah.
It's too foggy.
Yeah,
can we do it over the phone?
We'll meet our puppet later. Yeah. He works for us anyways. So, just tell him to wait and we'll try to make another time for him.
And I get, I make fun of them a lot on my podcast, and so I always get people like someone today was just talking about yet another fee that they're coming up, and the guy literally writes, I understand the banks are hurting. It's like, how are they hurting?
Yeah.
They were hurting, and then we gave them $1 trillion.
And now they're just hiding the money and they're holding on to it to see what they can.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I have that problem too, but I don't understand it as much as maybe you do or some people do.
No, dude. I'm the loud guy in the bar.
Yeah, but you're like me though. But you're like me though. Like in my mind, I don't want to carry any fucking debt. Like the only debt I carry now that I got out of the divorce and everything else is the mortgage. That's it.
Right.
And the rest I just try to keep paid up because I don't want to fucking spend the interest on it. But if you don't do that, then all of a sudden you can't play anymore. Yeah. I was listening to a thing on the other day. If you don't carry debt, then your credit goes a little sour. They need you.
You're considered an inactive member of society, even though you're in society. You don't yell at old people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You show up to your buddy's podcast.
Yeah,
you're doing a bunch of wonderful things.
You have respect for dentistry.
Yeah. You might say some fucked up things about John Updike, but generally speaking, you're participating in society.
But the thing was, I heard something on NPR too, that people who followed the old rules of saving money, they're getting fucked. People who saved money, regular savings without playing the fucking game, they don't make no money on their money. Nothing.
Yeah, no. Well, that's what happened. Yeah. The whole thing, the genius of the game. Now, part of it is you got to keep the economy going. I get that. But the genius of the whole thing is through penalties and fees, you will put your money exactly where they want you to.
And they decide the penalties and fees based on nothing. Just because they need money. If they're like, we're running low on money, let's create a fee.
Somebody told me a long time when I was doing that short-lived sitcom, I kept all my money in the bank. And someone's like, dude, that's the dumbest thing you can do. Take it over to fucking,
throw it on the table, put it on number 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I had mine in Bank of America, and I have this fucked up way of thinking where I think they believe in me and my loyalty. Like it's still in my brain. My wiring's still fucked up about American Express. Like I believe that shit. Member since you get, I'm like, I'm special.
I barely ever use the card, and I won't cancel it because it says 89 on it. Member since 89. I don't want to start over again.
They like you, Billy.
Well, dude, just the names of the MasterCard.
Yeah.
You're a fucking slave.
I'll tell you,
they have the balls to even say it and was so fucking stupid, walking around like, I'm the master.
Yeah.
Put this round on me.
And then you get, exactly. Let me use my MasterCard. But I'll tell you honestly, though, there are some perks that I've grown to appreciate.
Does membership have its privilege?
I'll tell you what does. I recently recommitted to American Airlines. Like, I'm not going to fly anybody else if I can help it. I'm not going to look for fucking bargains to say $50 because then I get no status and I can't upgrade. And all I want to do is walk on the fucking plane first so I can put my fucking bag on.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want to be stuck where I got to check the fucking bag and wait an hour on the other end.
Exactly.
So I recommitted to American Airlines and I got an American.
An elitist.
Yeah. I got American Express, and I don't even hardly get upgraded because there's other guys that, like up in the air guys that live, they live their life there, but occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
So then I got the American Express, and
Those guys who oversee the sweatshop labor,
everything,
they racking up all the miles,
the slave drivers
flying over to Indonesia
to make sure that we're keeping Americans out of work. So
why is that 8-year-old sleeping?
Yeah.
All right, I got to go fly back to Cali. He's always getting bumped up.
I'm getting the upgrade, because he's doing the big work. Yeah, so then I got the American Express. I got a platinum card a few years ago, only because you get free Ambassador Club entrance, which is the American, frequent flyer lounge with the Amex. So I don't even need to, pay the.
You know what's sad?
And it's kind of nice though.
But if it was the 70s, you would have got a hand job.
Oh yeah, you would have got a lot of things.
Oh yeah, you would have.
I think you still can, but you can't put it on the card unless it's a legit operation.
I think that was the.
Never my bag.
Did you know, like, I always bring this up all the time. Do you know back in the day, like, first class fucking blows now compared to how it used to. Do you know back in the day on Pan Am, the MetLife building used to be the Pan Am building?
Yeah.
They used to own that thing. So when you landed in JFK, that wasn't the end of your first class. You got off. They put your bags on a helicopter and you flew to the top of that building.
No.
You could have drinks.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then every chick probably looked like fucking Farrah Fawcett. And then you took the elevator down, and then you would you get in a cab, and you would go to the hotel. And what ended up happening was a helicopter actually crashed.
Oh.
You can look, and this you can actually look up.
I remember
unless
when that
somebody
happened.
photoshopped
the blades
it.
Flew off the
Flew
top.
down, and then hit like the son of some big porno star or something. It's something fucking weird. Whoever died on the ground was either that or like they were like
So this signals the end of the 70s for you. This was the end of the great age of first class.
The great age of of airline travel.
Yeah, that
like,
was it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck. So are you stashing money? I mean, are you like a hide it in your mattress kind of guy? You don't have to divulge in.
No, I'm one of those guys.
You
where
buying gold?
Dude, there's nothing. They can devalue gold if they want to.
I know.
There's nothing.
It's a fixed game. The casinos. A fixed game.
And my thing about it is, I have no problem with the rigged fucking game. My problem is with those guys is that it's never enough. That's the disease that scares me about that corporate mentality where every quarter you have to show a profit, and we're going to be like serfs pretty soon.
It's already happening. Yeah, it's already happening.
I think in 20 years, like if I'm still doing this shit, like I'm gonna literally be coming up from the floor with like a court gesture hat on.
Yeah, we are sort of
doing like corporate gigs.
Do you do corporate gigs?
No,
I don't either. Because no one's asking me. That's for fucking sure. They barely ask me. They don't even ask me to do colleges. There's no way I could do it. I mean, I can't. I just have a biological problem with kissing ass. Yeah, on that level.
Yeah. No, I don't have a problem if you want me to come, you want me to work clean, I would do. I mean, I don't get offers to do them is really the more honest answer, but I would do them, but I do find them when I did. I mean, there's always a weirdness, and then I find those people like they are just in an entirely the same way like Yankee and Red Sox fans don't understand what those two teams have done to the rest of the baseball teams. Like, they're fine. It's like they've never been to a fucking Padres game in August. They haven't.
Yeah.
And it's like these guys, they're not assholes. They just don't know. They don't understand what it is that the ramifications of it.
Well, fucking corporate structure.
But of course, I don't have any solutions. Not really any facts to even judge these people. I really realized how full of shit I was.
Yeah, that's a good moment to have.
Yeah.
That's the same moment where you realize, like, maybe I should just, when I don't know something, not pretend like I do and admit that I'm wrong sometimes.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point now is I still make my point with passion, and then I try to, like, pull the ripcord and just say, I'm full of shit at the end of it.
Oh, good. Yeah, the disclaimer.
Yeah, the disclaimer.
The post-argument disclaimer.
I berated you, and you can draw my index finger from memory at that point.
The thing that people don't really understand about corporate structure is there's a guy at the top that represents all the people with money. Yeah, the CEO. Everyone under the CEO, their entire lives are dedicated to displacing blame on the people beneath them. So basically, even in show business, the corporate structure is, it's amazing anything happens at all. They're just protecting people's money, or they're trying to take credit for any success possible and make sure no blame sticks
I thought there
to
wasn't
them.
one guy. I thought there's a board, and that way it's faceless. And they just always have their Ollie North that they wheel out.
Well, the board, I think, hires the dude to take the hits and make the decision.
Yeah, podium guy.
Right, you're the CEO. Right?
Yeah.
So, but it just seems to me in corporate structures, most people, they all know they're doing something wrong, but they just try to displace the blame onto the next guy. And if somebody is a good blame displacer, they move up. Those guys are rewarded. Most of the guys at the top are not there because they're geniuses. It's just because no shit is stuck to them.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that documentary, The Corporation?
Oh, yeah.
And how it compares
to a psychotic person?
Yeah, sociopath.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I think that that's what the war should be about. Like the war on terror, the war on drugs, it should just be a war on like sociopaths, because I feel like I've traveled enough and I've met enough people. People are pretty chill.
Yeah, people are okay.
People are pretty chill.
Yeah.
And then there's always that one fucking maniac. It even starts like in college when you have like a group project.
Yeah.
There's just always that one fucking maniac.
Yeah.
That just wants to pour fucking salt in the fields and rape the women, and they're like salivating.
Yeah. You know? They have no conscience.
None.
Yeah, no empathy.
That guy moves up in the court because they'll pour shit in the drinking water. Fuck yeah, corner office.
Who cares?
I'm on it.
I don't understand how they fucking do it. I think that they compartmentalize things. That when a corporation or people that work at a corporation know fucking good and well that they're destroying everything, perhaps the future of the fucking world, is that somehow in their dumb brains they don't look at the long term. They're just like, it's good for the corporation. And they've got their fingers in the fucking everything.
I don't think
they own politicians.
The geniuses are not destroying everything. They're pushing it just 1 inch closer. Well, we all are, dude. We're a fucking mess. I mean, like, you're defending your life. Because if that's the scam that you're in, if someone, like, say, like, you got this great house here. If somebody was, like, seriously threatening your lifestyle, I'm not saying you'd kill him, but you'd want if you could have the fucking problem solved.
No, but I know that
if I could kill that old guy who lives under.
Well, but that's true. But that goes back to what we were talking about before. How do those people justify the fact that their job is basically to protect their bottom line, deny people coverage?
Because they don't pull the trigger.
Right, so they displace blame.
That's why. I got a buddy of mine, not a buddy, just Jesus, I can't tell the fucking story. I have this human being who needs oxygen to breathe. Is that
a guy you know?
A guy I know. Whatever, he knocks this girl up, and then she got to get a fucking. Now I'm whispering like this is going to make.
We won't tell anybody. Let's keep it between us.
Yeah. So he knocks this girl up. Okay.
Yeah.
He knocks this girl up. They were just having a good time, right? She probably still had her shoes on. There was no love there. Right? There's no love.
But it was fun in the moment.
Yeah. So she gets pregnant, and we got to fucking do something about this. So they do it. All right.
Yeah.
15 fucking years later, same guy. He's married. He has a kid, and then he just goes, you know what? Now that I have a kid, I'm totally against abortion. And it made sense to me. Now you see this wonderful thing, and it made sense to me. But then he takes it a step further. And I guess some abortion doctor had gotten killed in Nebraska or something. And then he takes it a step further. He goes, the thing that they did to that guy out there in Nebraska. Yeah. He's like, I support that.
Ugh.
I support that. And I'm like, wait a minute, dude. It's like you fucking hired that guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, dude. He goes, I made a mistake. He kept going, I don't see it that way. And it was driving me nuts. He goes, no, I don't see it that way. He's like, I made a mistake. All right. That guy, he did it for a living. And he actually justified it to the point was he didn't actually perform the abortion. He just gave the money for it, and he distanced himself. It's like, dude, don't you understand? If you hired somebody to kill me, and they did, you're accessory to murder.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he just kept going, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. And it was literally like, I was like, this is the kind of fucking guy that you could get, and you could talk him into a guard tower in a fucking concentration camp. In like 5 seconds. All you do is you tell him, what a great guy is and how he should be having more and how he's getting fucked, and these are the people fucking him. He would be up there like Sergeant Schultz.
But that's because there's
in 5 seconds.
It's shame-based, self-hating based revenge almost.
He's a fucking moron.
Right. But I believe in this country, it could happen like in Rwanda. In Rwanda, there the Tutsis and the Hutus, it was like one day the guy came on the radio and said, "Go kill the other tribe." Yeah. And they all fucking did. I don't think we're that far from that here. I think
you're not. Are you kidding me? No, fuck no.
That if they were to one day come out and say, go kill all the black people, go kill all the Mexicans, go kill the other
which is why you can't deregulate the media. And they did. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
It's over. You got fucking, Rupert Murdoch could make that happen.
Someone could make it happen.
Before the end of this podcast.
Except they'd lose a lot of consumers. It's capitalism again. The only thing they're worried about is
that's what I always think.
Some of those people have money.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you.
Some of them owe us money.
The end game is fucking robots.
Yeah.
Dude, once they make robots, they're smarter than us and they don't bitch.
Don't they exist?
It's over.
There's one sitting on the fucking table between us right now. I don't know what this computer does.
Hey, you want to hear something fucked up? I had a cab ride. I'm going to whisper again. No.
Okay, let's keep it down.
Keep it down. I was having this cab ride, fucking landed some horrific place going to do this gig. And this guy was saying how his son was actually in the CIA.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I must be proud and blah, blah, blah. He starts talking and whatever. So he was saying, and I forget how the fucking story went, but it was basically he was saying that the computer that he had, he could not only get into your computer, he can turn it on when it's off. And he goes, because his neighbor was pissing, his dad's neighbor was pissing him off. He goes, you want me to fuck with him? He's going to use his CIA laptop just to be a fucking cunt to the guy next door.
Oh, jeez.
And I was just like, wow. And then it was kind of unsettling. I'm like, so there's really
no privacy.
And he goes, yeah. And he was upset by it too. That was a moment he was trying to impress his dad.
Yeah.
Like, be proud of me, Dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, great son.
Yeah.
Great son. You joined the Cobra Kai. Way to go.
That feeds into the whole thing. I don't know how you manage. I used to be, think about that stuff all the time, and I still think about it sometimes. I know this is unprotected, and there's very little privacy anywhere. And now with my first reaction to the scans at the airport where they can see you're naked, it's like being fucking raped by a machine.
No, it's bad. It's bad, and it's all fucking fear-based, and this is going to happen if we don't do this, and, fighting for security and all this
But do you ever
bullshit.
have that moment where you're like, I hope my cock looks all right?
Dude, okay, let's, you know something? My fucking cock right now, I'm having a problem with it.
No, come on.
we rescued a pit bull All right?
This can't be a good... How did those things go together?
Yeah. So the other day, I'm laying in bed. I'm in my boxers. Boxers.
Oh, boy.
The fucking dog goes to get up on the bed. He basically, fucking threw a hook to my dick.
Oh,
okay?
my God.
Yeah, he fucking scratched my dick.
I'm so glad he didn't...
I had to put Neosporin on. So that's the joke between me and my girl, because she's the one who picked it up. I'm like, great, your dog mauled my cock.
I'm so glad he didn't maul it.
No, it's a sweetheart. I fucking love the dog to death.
But I mean, it was just a scratch. I mean, you set it up like, oh, my God, did he tug on it?
I
like
know,
a goddamn...
I know.
All right, well, I think that's a good way to close.
There you go. Getting my cock mauled?
Yeah, how are we going to top that? You feel satisfied with what we've done here?
Yeah, I think we went a little rogue. We went a little crazy.
It's the only way to go.
Yeah.
All right, Bill Burr. Where can they get your thing?
My podcast?
Yeah.
Go to billburr.com and just click on podcast. It's up on the iTunes if you want to download it, kids. And that's it.
All right, man. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks.
Okay, that was Bill Burr. I'm glad we got that settled and cleared up. What a funny guy. What a great guest. To the point where we don't have to do a third thing. We're not doing a third thing today. There's no third thing. But I got a million plugs. For myself, of course, and for things related to the show. As you know, hold on, let me do it now. I didn't do it before. Pow! Oh my God, I just shit my pants. Just Coffee is a fair trade coffee cooperative. Visit justcoffee.coop and you can get a link for that at WTFpod.com. WTFpod.com is going to be expanding in the very near future. I will be introducing the Nerdcock t-shirt shortly. It's going to be a limited press, limited printing, but we're going to make them available on WTFpod.com along with WTF t-shirts that are cheaper than the ones we've previously been offering to a second party. So look forward to that. There's also going to be more stuff. I'll keep you informed on that. But you can go there now and get on the email list so I can tell you when I'm coming to your town. Follow us on Twitter. Make it subscription or donation, which is very helpful. You still get the T-shirt with the subscription. We're going to broaden those options out a bit, too. But also, PunchlineMagazine.com has been very supportive of our show, and we are supportive of them. They are the premier comedy, business, and entertainment website for breaking news, interviews, record reviews, CD reviews, DVD reviews, and they do their own video series there. PunchlineMagazine.com. Please go to that. One more time before I get too close, that this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 14, 15, and 16, Seattle at Laughs Comedy Club in Kirkland. I will be there. Go get tickets. Do it. And I want to plug again the WTF Comedy Central pilot taping. That's a little more complicated because they don't have a website. It is January 28th here in Los Angeles at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Comedy Central stage at the Hudson Theater. You can call 323-960-5519 for reservations. I believe that's almost everything that I have to do for you today. I'm sorry if this got a little long in terms of plugging, but I do want you to come see me, and I really appreciate you listening. I appreciate all your emails. I do read all of them, by the way. I mean, I guess if there were thousands, I wouldn't, but I do read the ones you send, and we will do another email show soon. I'd like to thank John Montagna again of Brooklyn, a bass player who created the new WTF theme music. If you want to hear more of his work, you can go to johnmontagna.com, JOHNMONTAGNA. Thanks a lot, brother. Sounds great. Really gets me going.